Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Fire Mountain Scout Camp Leaders Preview for summer 2022. As we go through the presentation, please remain on mute until we get to the end. As you have questions, please ask them through the chat window. I'll keep my eyes on it and answer the ones that I can get during the presentation, and then we'll review at the end and make sure that everything gets answered. My name is Eric Buher, and I am the camp director for Fire Mountain for summer 2022. Along with me tonight, our program director, Jolynn Garrett, is here. Say hello, Jolynn.
Hi.
All right, thank you. Jolynn and I got to work together running camp in 2021. We learned a lot about working together, as well as how to put on a camp during some challenging times, and we're excited to be able to reprise our roles and continue to carry those lessons forward. I think it'll be a pretty great season. As we move through our session tonight, first we're going to talk about the Camp Leaders Guide, which is now available online. Look at some highlights from that. We're going to discuss the continuing influence of COVID-19 and what we can anticipate about that for how it'll influence next summer. Look at some daily living at Fire Mountain and some key bits of information that you might need to know if you haven't been there recently. Speaking of that, if it's been a while since you've been at camp, we're always adding things and improving things, and we've got some developments to let you know about. We're going to take a look at what the daily schedule is likely to look like in summer 2022. This won't be the final schedule at this point, as we're still waiting for some details as we get closer, but our current plans around a couple of options for what it could be. We're going to talk about meals and dining at camp and what to expect there. Dive into some previews of our program planning around some key things, including, of course, our celebration of the 50th anniversary of Fire Mountain. As we get towards the end, we'll make a shameless plug for camp staff recruitment, looking for the best and brightest scouts across the council to help put on a great summer. And then we'll save some time for some questions at the end. As we go, as I've mentioned, please feel free to ask questions in the chat window, and we will answer them as able during the presentation or respond fully as we get to the end. So first off, our Camp Leaders Guide is now available online. It's actually been available for a couple of weeks on the camp registration page. You can get there at scoutingevent.com/606-2022 FMSC. On that page, you want to scroll down and look for the attachment section on the right side of the screen, and you'll find the 2022 FM Leaders Guide. The Leaders Guide will also be available on the main camp webpage at mountbakerbsa.org once we put up the recording of this presentation. The Leaders Guide is a comprehensive look at the key information you need right now to plan for next summer, and plan for all of the great and fun things that are going to be coming up. Among the great pieces of information you'll find is our schedule for summer 2022. If you've not taken a look at that yet, our first program we're offering next summer is actually over the 4th of July weekend, and it is a summer family camp. In 2021, we introduced Memorial Day and Labor Day family camps. These were 3-night family camping experiences that were a lot of fun. Our summer family camp this next year during the 4th of July weekend is going to be just as much fun. It'll be put on not just by a group of volunteers, but by our full summer camp staff. And we're going to be able to jam pack it full of all sorts of program activities and experiences that our other holiday weekends won't have. So it's really one to get on your schedule early and look forward to. The second half of that week, we'll be looking at our Cub Overnight Adventure program. If you've got Cub Scouts who are looking for an overnight camping experience, this is a 2-night adventure for them to come on up to camp with their adult partners or with their friends from their pack and enjoy Cub Scout camping at its finest. Finally, we get into our Scouts BSA resident camp. This starts July 10th with week 1 and goes all the way through week 5, which runs August 7th to 13th. We're already seeing weeks 2 and 3 get pretty full, that there's still some room there as well as room throughout the rest of the summer. Fees for a scout for this summer are $400. And if you're in council, $425 to out of council. And as long as that's paid by May 15th, that's the early bird price. After that, it jumps to $425. And then if you bring a scout at the gate, it'll be $450. Notice that we do plan to accept provisional scouts, and they have that same fee structure. This would be a scout individually coming to camp without their troop. Maybe their troop went to a different camp, and the scout's looking for either a second week experience, or they aren't able to travel with their troop and they want to be here at home. Finally, even if your scout is going to Fire Mountain, your scouts may want to come to camp for a second week. They can do that as a provisional scout and do it at a 25% discount to the price. So they'll pay just $300 for a second or third or fourth week. They could attend every week of the summer and have a great time. To get registered right now, all that's required is a $250 deposit. That saves your space at camp. When you make that initial registration, you'll also be able to request the site or sites that you'd prefer to stay at. We don't guarantee sites. We do our best to meet your requests, but the final decision depends on the number of individuals coming to camp and the amount of space we can pack people into each week. Let's see. I want to mention that if you've already registered, we had a mistake made with our initial setup for registration that wasn't allowing that $250 deposit. It was trying to make you pay the whole cost right up front. We have fixed that, so we're back to just that initial $250 deposit. Following this, key dates to remember: on February 15th is when you need to confirm your spots at camp, and you do that by making a $25 per scout deposit. That $250 deposit that you started with counts for the first 10 scouts that you're bringing, and then you just need $25 per scout beyond that. So if you're bringing 13 scouts, it's just another $75 in February. A month later, on March 15th, we have our family commitment payment. This is making sure families are saving up their money and getting it in. That payment is $75 per scout and $75 per adult. April 15th is a key date to look for. If you have scouts who will be applying for a Mount Baker Council camp grant, then their applications are due there on April 15th. Those camp grants are connected to our council opportunity fund, and they cover up to half the cost of camp. In 2022, those camp grants are automatically in 2022, you can expect those camp grants to be automatically approved for anyone who served under programs like free and reduced lunch at school or similar programs. But they're also open to other folks as well. So if you have scouts in that position, be sure and let them know that this is a great way to help save on the cost of camp. Likewise, finally due by May 15th to get that early bird price are the full fees for both youth and adults. I think I missed that earlier, but adult cost is $150, which covers food as well as a couple of other items that will go to adults. I mentioned that non-refundable deposit. Because this happened to us in 2020 and we had to cancel camp, we're always aware that is now a possibility. We don't think that's going to happen, but to be prepared, we are promising that all funds, including anything that would otherwise be non-refundable, will be returned to your troop should circumstances require us to cancel camp for the season. Or you can transfer those funds to the next year and apply them to your attendance at camp in 2023. All right, I want to take some time to speak to the continuing influence of COVID-19. We're at a tricky point in this pandemic. We've been dealing with it for close to 2 years now, and we're starting to get awfully tired of its impacts on everything that we do. I see a lot of nodding heads out there. We at Fire Mountain and at all of our scout camps across the country, we want to offer the best program possible to our scouts and units while remaining obedient to the laws and restrictions that that our states and nation put on us. We hope and are being optimistic to see the virus continue to recede over the next 8 months and allow us to operate close to normal or as close to normal as possible for next summer. However, we're also preparing for a situation where that's not the case, where significant impacts of the virus linger, and we need to have a more restrictive season similar to what we operated in 2021 and to what most camps, most scout camps across the country were required to do. As such, we're currently building 2 plans for the season. One we'll call the almost normal summer camp season, and the other more of a Cohort-Plus plan. In 2021, we used the recommended cohort model that was recommended not just by Washington State and the CDC, but also developed really by the American Camping Association and endorsed by the Boy Scouts of America Outdoor Program Team. So the cohort model or Cohort-Plus, since we've learned a bit more over the last year and how to implement that. Our almost normal plan will allow for things like full camp assemblies and meals. So we'd see flag ceremonies once again on the parade field, full attendance in the dining hall, whole campfire programs in the evenings. We would anticipate having scouts both sign up and attend merit badge classes individually, as they've traditionally done. And we would implement whatever basic COVID precautions remained in place. However, the Washington State Department of Health and the CDC guidance recommended and required. Likely we'd see a heavy emphasis on mask use indoors, washing hands or using hand sanitizer regularly, that kind of thing. In our cohort model or Cohort-Plus model, we would continue to see only small group assemblies and probably meal shifts in the dining hall, having an A shift and a B shift for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as we did in summer 2021. We anticipate seeing cohorts, which is either a troop or a fraction of a troop, depending on its size, attend merit badge classes as a group based on a rotation through program areas. We'll give you an idea of what that would look like on a later slide here. And then we would see significant COVID precautions remaining in place. Cohorts, keeping social distance between those groups, testing before you arrive at camp, things like that. Again, those requirements will be dictated by what the state guidelines are, whether they remain as they were in 2021, or hopefully we see an update and a shift to something that's a little more convenient to implement while still maintaining safety. These descriptions at the moment are subject to change as we get closer to the season and understand what COVID-19 will allow us to do. The next update to our plans will be in our program guide release, which is we plan to come out in the middle of February. And I'll caution you now that even in February, we'll probably still be waiting on final plans. So we'll continue to be presenting 2 options, this almost normal plan as well as the Cohort-Plus plan, as we wait to see what the state's going to allow us to do. Speaking to daily living at Fire Mountain. For those of you who haven't been to Fire Mountain before, or maybe just recently, some highlights to know what it's like to be at camp. Our campsites are awesome. We had about 12 years ago now, and it's a former Scoutmaster come up to camp as a consulting engineer and project manager and tell us exactly what our campsite should look like for troops to really get the most out of them. And then we did what he said. In fact, he did what he said because he took on that project largely and is now our camp ranger. That's Steve Beckfar, who is responsible for really helping to realize a lot of dreams at camp over the last decade and plus. Our campsites have permanent shelters, which provide plenty of living space. Those shelters are either an Adirondack, which is a larger three-sided structure with 8 bunks in it. Even with COVID restrictions, there's enough space in those bunks that all 8 can be used by scouts, sleeping toe to toe, and there's plenty of room between them at night to fill that whole space. The rest of our campsites have stents, as we call them, or steel-roofed tents. These are smaller steel wooden structures, steel-roofed. They have 4 bunks in them and are clustered in groups of 3 to serve a whole patrol. Now, with our stents, we did identify that the space wasn't quite enough to allow 4 scouts to sleep in them with COVID precautions, with full COVID precautions in place. So instead, we recommended just 2 scouts per stent sleeping on opposite walls, opposite bunks, and head to toe. But that gave plenty of safe space there. Beyond the shelters, our campsites have large washstands, large bear-proof tables. We call them bear-proof but scout resistant, and plenty of space to work and play within the campsite. They all have, I mentioned washstands, they all have water and pit toilets that make it great. In terms of showers and restrooms, we also have 3 state-of-the-art shower houses throughout camp. One in the center with that serves us throughout the day and largely our central campsites. One on the west side, serving the campsites of Skagit, Snohomish, and Chief Joseph. And then one on the east side, serving the campsites of Mount Baker, Mount Rainier, Pilchuck, Skykomish, Duckett, and Salish. So lots of great use there. The thing that was kind of forward thinking and when we built our shower houses was that we built them to state park standards, which means that rather than large group rooms or for showers or bathrooms, each room is individual. You go in, you lock the door, and it's your room, male, female, adult, youth. Can use any room in there, lock the door behind them, and it's perfectly safe and private for their use. The rooms are also all easy to clean and sanitize to to really accommodate what your troop needs. Matt is asking if we'll have Duckett's water working by next summer. We did have an issue with that in 2021 because we'd rebuilt our water system. Duckett had become disconnected from the water system. Matt, we've got all of the infrastructure in place, and the last time I talked to the ranger, he just needed to make the final connection from the pipe stub to the washstand. So Duckett should be ready to go actually now, if not by next summer. It's in great shape. Moving ahead. We'll have some other upgrades either already in place or ready for you when you're at camp in 2022. First, I want to mention the Turner Family General Store, or the TGS as we call it up there at camp. The general store was completed in May of 2021 and did operate in summer of 2021. It operated flawlessly. We served tons of scouts. We had easily double the space or triple the space, I think, of our old trading post there at camp, and had a lot of fun seeing how it could be used. This next summer, we've got plans for even more merchandise for your convenience needs, your snacking and souvenir up at camp. Rumor is we'll have a slushy machine for your scouts to enjoy. Except for the slushy machine. That's right, Richard. In 2021, that wasn't quite ready to go, and COVID restrictions made it challenging to operate. But we're ready to bring it out in 2022. We do recommend scouts plan to bring about $75 in pocket money for things like sweatshirts, hats, snacks. The 50th anniversary will have a lot of great merchandise items and souvenir items for a limited edition purchasing that they may want to look at as well. The next thing I want to mention is the Janicki shelter. Started in the fall of 2020, we ran into a pretty significant permit delay and construction delays, again, largely attributable to COVID slowdowns. But at the end of summer 21, we finally got our permit. We now have our slab poured, and it's ready for construction. All of our materials are at camp. We've got a contractor, and it'll be going up in the coming weeks. So before the end of the year, we expect to see that done. We're excited. This is the structure that's replacing the old Skagit shelter, which means it's a great weatherproof location right in the middle of camp for daily life, a central forum where you can meet your scouts as they go about their day, take a load off, talk with other scout leaders and staff members, and generally have a great time. The other thing I want to mention briefly is the anniversary plaza at camp. Now, this is a top secret project, and I'm not allowed to say too much about it. It is coming in either late spring, early summer of 2022, and it'll really dress up the center of camp. That's all I'm allowed to say, but you should look for an exciting announcement coming very soon about what this is, what it'll look like, and how you can help support it. Taking a look at our schedules for the summer. This almost normal schedule, this is, what we'll be looking at. In terms of merit badges, we anticipate scouts signing up and attending merit badge classes individually as they traditionally have, experience more or less what we'd expect at camp pre-COVID. We may still, again, see some basic COVID precautions in program areas, but largely the things will be normal. Our schedule here allows time for 4 merit badge sessions, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. We'll have block schedules, so Monday, Tuesday, 9 to 11 would be our first merit badge class, and that allows 4 hours of instruction time per badge. Monday, Tuesday afternoon, something like 12:30 to 2:30. We'd see a second set class. And then the second half of the week on Thursday, Friday, we see the same thing with a merit badge session in the morning and in the afternoon. This block schedule has proved really popular since we went to it back in 2019, and we're excited to see it keep going. In addition, on the schedule, you'll see that we've got specific chunks of time for troop activities, patrol activities, and scout activities during evening program. That troop activity time was really popular and one of the highest reviewed elements of our schedule in 2021, really allowing troops to gel as a team on some bigger projects. We're excited to be able to maintain that on our Wednesday off day from advancement. Patrol activity time is a really classic element of our schedule that we had in the mid-2000s that kind of went away in the last 10 years, and we're excited to bring it back for the 50th anniversary. This is dedicated time for your scouts in their patrols to move around camp, taking on activities and explorations and adventures on their own. These are not necessarily or typically not advancement related activities, but more team building or program enhancing activities that patrols get to engage in. And then that evening open program is a chance for scouts to head out on their own adventure, maybe with a buddy, maybe with others from their troop in small groups, to do the things that they really want to spend time on at camp. Evening, of course, also includes our zip line activities. We'll have campfire programs during the week, and generally have a great time. We also anticipate being able to bring back night zip on Friday night. So all of those of you who missed it in 2021 will get to give that a try once again. Now, as I mentioned, this is our almost normal schedule, and a contrast to this would be that Cohort-Plus planning that we're doing. The schedule looks a little more complicated, but I promise you it's just as exciting. What we anticipate seeing in 2022 is troops or cohorts rotating through program areas as a group. We don't plan to do the same merit badge bundle signups that we did in 21. We think other camps we've talked to have had more success with this rotation model. So there's 6 program areas or groupings of program areas that we've established, and troops from 2 or 3 campsites would team up as a rotation group and rotate through those areas over the week. So in the first half of the week, a troop would go through 3 program areas, getting 2 days in each place. And then in the second half of the week, they'd get to rotate through the second 3 program areas, giving them a chance to hit everything from aquatics, shooting sports, handicrafts, our ecology conservation programs, outdoor skills, and high adventure. Giving everyone a taste of those activities and the chance to earn the advancements that they're looking for. Wednesday would still rely on that troop or cohort activity time, and evening activities, rather than being that open program for individual scouts, would look more like those troop times, with cohorts signing up for activities and traveling around camp in groups. This would not allow us to do the Lake Challenge on Friday afternoon, but does still, of course, keep the chicken barbecue and special events on Friday going on there. We would hope to still do the night zip activity, even in this model, being able to bring it back with a more robust staff. We'll keep an eye on what the COVID guidance is going to allow us to do, but that is our goal. Let's see. I'm going to talk about meals and dining at camp in 2022. And to start that, I need to acknowledge that we had some significant challenges at camp in 2021 when it came to our meal service. Those of you who were there or may have heard about it will know that the changes that we did from attempting to serve individually in campsites to meal shifts came with some logistical challenges that definitely impacted the quality of our food and dining experience at the summer. We learned key lessons every week. We made steady improvements throughout the summer, but are still regretful of the experience and apologetic for the experience that troops had, especially early in the summer. In preparing for summer 2022, we've applied a lot of those lessons learned right from the top to make sure that meals are right back up to the high standard that should be expected at any scout camp, and especially at Fire Mountain. We've increased our budget both for food and for staffing in the dining hall, and we are already working both with our food vendors and our dietitian to make sure that we have the best meal plan for all of our guests, regardless of the logistical challenges that we may face. We anticipate the meals will be delivered in the dining hall, either as a whole group if we're in a mostly normal summer, or again in meal shifts, as we did for most of summer 21. We would ideally like to go back to family style service. That's what we've designed our dining hall and designed our dining hall for, but we may also use cafeteria style, again, depending on evolving guidance from the state and the CDC. You should expect a comprehensive camp dining plan, including the full menu, to be included in our program guide, which again, we anticipate coming out in the middle of February. Just like our overall program, this will likely have describe two options, again, depending on COVID restrictions that will continue to evolve in the spring. But you should have a very good idea of what to expect, and a good indicator of the quality that we're holding ourselves to for this next summer. We're going to talk about some of the fun things that we're doing at camp to entertain and engage your scouts. First, looking at program areas, both new and old. A new program area that we're excited to be launching this summer is our first responder area. This area is built around 4 merit badges: the Emergency Preparedness Merit Badge, the First Aid Merit Badge, the Search and Rescue Merit Badge, and newly offered the Fire Safety Merit Badge. Scouts in any of these classes can expect first-rate practice exercises going on to practice the skills they're learning firsthand, as well as a chance to meet professional first responders who will be coming up to camp to speak with the scouts about the experiences that they have in their professions. The other area that we're excited to be bringing back is our mountain sports area. We've had some challenges with staffing this, as well as delivering it to small groups over the last couple of years, but we've got it back on track. Mountain sports represents both mountain bikes and mountain boards. The mountain biking option of the cycling merit badge will be offered through this program. It is a partial option because there's a number of rides that are required that we don't have the time or space to do at camp, but we'll go through skills building and development and cover as much of the badge as we can, leaving scouts with only the requirement to go out and ride their bikes. So that's something they ought to enjoy anyway. We have a new mountain biking skills course in development, which is expected to be finalized in the spring of 2022, that will give scouts a chance to really build those skills in a safe way and in a fun way there right at camp. Finally, mountain boarding will introduce as a patrol or cohort activity that will be signed up for in those patrol times or evening activities as a great way to have some fun on those boards. I want to once again mention our Fire Mountaineer program. Now, this program was previewed or premiered in summer of 2021. We had about 150 scouts take advantage of it. We hope to see quite a few more engage with it in the next year. The idea here is that Washington State, of course, is home to some of the greatest mountains in the world. Those who seek to reach these summits are known as mountaineers, and the tallest mountains in the state are its volcanoes or fire mountains. So fire mountaineers are those that return to camp year after year, climbing, facing ever greater challenges in their experience here. It rewards veteran campers who come to camp year after year. Those who completed their first year at Fire Mountain in 21 received the Mount St. Helens Achievement and will have their recognition pins coming to them soon. In year 2, those who are coming back for their second year will earn the Glacier Peak Award, followed by Mount Baker, Mount Adams, and in the 5th year, Mount Rainier. We also have a special project at camp that we're designing for those year 5 veterans who've returned to us so many times to leave a permanent mark at camp to recognize that achievement. This is a heck of a lot of fun and a fairly straightforward program requiring a few requirements to be met over the week and submitted to earn this recognition. So we're excited to be in our second year of the program and have some of those veteran campers building up there up towards Mount Rainier. And finally, I need to spend some time talking about our 50th anniversary celebration. Now, we've been mentioning this for a while. Fire Mountain was founded in 1972, although the property was actually purchased as early as December of 1970, and scouts were all over the place in the summer of 71 building the camp. But its first official summer of operation was 1972, and now in 2022, we'll be celebrating that 50-year anniversary. We've got some events on the calendar that you'll definitely want to be aware of and take advantage of, regardless of whether you're camping at Fire Mountain in the summer of 22 or not. First, our 50th anniversary Council Camporee will be held at Fire Mountain the weekend of May 13th to 15th. We hope that you save the date and make plans to attend. We'll have registration for that going live very soon, and we want to see you there. Our goal is to bring 600 scouts at least to Fire Mountain to celebrate its 50th anniversary in a weekend of fun and challenging adventure. We'll be having a celebration, officially celebrating the 50th anniversary on May 28th. This is during the Memorial Day family camp, so anyone who's coming to family camp for that weekend will get to participate, as well as any guests who want to drop in just for the day and hold that celebration. I'm not making any promises, but I am working on a fireworks display that night. That'll be, as far as I know, the first fireworks we've ever done at Fire Mountain. Shoot, I shouldn't have said that out loud, because now if I don't pull it off, everyone's going to be disappointed. I guess I'll just have to pull it off, right, Jolene?
You are totally scaring me.
All summer long, we'll be holding a Fire Mountain rededication ceremony on the Fridays of our Scouts BSA summer camp. So Fridays at the Chicken Barbecue for our campers and our guests who will hopefully be able to visit. We'll be holding this rededication ceremony that everyone will get to be a part of to celebrate that new, that 50-year achievement and hopefully another 50 years to come at Fire Mountain. So that's Fridays of July 15th, 22nd, 29th, and August 5th and 12th, weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you're coming to camp, you're already part of it. Finally, September 2nd through 5th, the Fire Mountain Staff Alumni Association will be holding a 50th anniversary Fire Mountain Camp Staff Reunion as part of the Labor Day Family Camp. If you're a staff member from way back or just want to be close to the staff of Fire Mountain, we encourage you to sign up to attend that family camp and participate in some of those events celebrating 50 years of camp staff at Fire Mountain. What would an anniversary be without swag? There's all sorts of ways to show that you're part of the celebration of Fire Mountain's 50th anniversary. That includes apparel like t-shirts, hooded sweatshirts, fleece vests, hats, and more. These are all either already exist in our trading post or are on their way, and you should be on their lookout. Patches. What would a Scout celebration be without patches? We have a 50 years of Fire Mountain patch set, which is in production now, as well as announcing soon a Legacy Camps patch set, celebrating the 7 camps that served the Scouts of the Pacific Northwest prior to Fire Mountain. The site patch you can get at Fire Mountain just for visiting, as well as a Fire Mountain at 50 CSP, and more, much more coming. Other memorabilia that you can be on the lookout for includes Fire Mountain stickers, pins, mugs, water bottles, knives, belt buckles, that's right, and more. So many things that we're excited about to show off your pride and your participation in Fire Mountain's 50th anniversary. Look for these items to start popping up in the general store at camp and the council trading post in the coming months to get you excited and ready to spend your summer at Fire Mountain. If you've got a great idea for a 50th anniversary item that you'd really love to see done, please feel free to reach out to myself or Jolynn and let us know. We're definitely looking for great ideas to make sure that everyone can show off with pride their part in the 50th anniversary celebration. Finally, if you haven't heard yet, every guest who comes to Fire Mountain in the summer of 2022, staff or scout leader will receive a 50th anniversary Fire Mountain neckerchief. The camp staff were wearing our 50th anniversary neckerchiefs at camp all summer last year to help celebrate or to help get awareness up. But we're excited to see every person coming to Fire Mountain next summer getting these and wearing them. That's right, Jolynn. Lastly, I mentioned that we couldn't have a presentation about camp without a shameless plug for serving on camp staff. Having a great camp requires a great staff, and our goal, our vision for the camp staff of 2022 is the greatest staff we've ever had, the greatest staff ever. Camp staff is a lot of fun and a great program for Scouts to participate in, but it also has a lot of great intangible benefits that folks often don't think about. It builds oral communication skills. Staff members are talking to youth, talking to adults, leading songs and skits, getting up on the parade field, building their skills when it comes to public speaking, facing potentially fears in that way, working on their communication. It develops critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Staff have to constantly think on their feet, understand problems, figure out how to get 8 Scouts to clean the shower house or any other chore that they really don't want to do. Staffing builds interpersonal and leadership skills. They have to live with their peers and actually adult for many of them, the first time in their lives. They respond to Scout and leader needs, set daily example of what it means to be a Scout in the outdoors. Camp staffing builds collaborative skills in working with their teams in their program area and across camp to accomplish more than they ever thought possible. And it builds creativity, developing fun and innovative ways to engage with Scouts, small groups to large. You can start your staffing experience at Fire Mountain as an SIT or staff in training as young as age 14 or 15. and you can be on full staff at age 16. Yeah. We are in particular looking for some more experienced folks, adults who can fill some key roles at camp, things like being senior leadership of our waterfront, our shooting sports programs, our high adventure team, and we'll pay for the training needed to conduct operations in those areas safely. If you're an older individual, really just a big kid, of course, but an older individual who is 18 or 21 or older and is interested in spending time at camp, I encourage you to reach out to me or Jolynn here, and we'd love to talk with you about what serving on camp staff looks like for you. We also encourage your scouts, or ask you to encourage your scouts to apply for the ultimate camp experience. It's a time at summer camp like none other. And the link to our online application can be found on our website or right here, tinyurl.com/FMSC staff. We're getting to the end of our presentation here and have some time for questions. Now, I think there were a few that I missed as I was going through here. Let's see. Becky says we just need to keep you in the Bundaberg soda and you're good. We'll do that. We've got excitement about mountain bikes at camp. Let's see. Jennifer wants to know, is this a consecutive award? Oh, the Fire Mountaineer, yes, is a consecutive award. So the first year you do it, whether it was last summer, this summer, 3 summers from now, your first summer that you complete the award, you would earn the Mount St. Helens Award. Your second summer, you would earn the Glacier Peak Award, and so forth. So you start whatever your first year is, your first year completing the award. So even those scouters who've been coming to camp for 10 or 15 years, you'll still start with Mount St. Helens in your first year and build up from there. Let's see. Oh, Jolyn corrected me. If you have a 15-year-old who has already been in SIT, they are able to serve on camp staff. But if it's their first summer, they should plan to do it at 16. Darlene wants to know, what is a mountain board? Well, Darlene, I want you to envision a skateboard, but beef it up, give it a shock and suspension system, big beefy off-road wheels, and a handbrake, and foot receptacles like on a snowboard, and that's a mountain board. They're a heck of a lot of fun to do. We will have them in limited capacity because a lot of the roads that we have at camp are these old graveled logging roads that lead to more more skinned knees than great experiences. But we've got some great easy slopes to experience them on and give them a try. And even some jumps that scouts will get to go over and get some air on them. So it's a great time. Let's see, Carrie wants to know if there are power outlets in campsite. There are not, and we don't have a plan to add power outlets to our campsites. If you're in a position where you need something like a CPAP machine, we encourage you to look into a model that has rechargeable batteries, and we do have the capacity to let you recharge those batteries in the core of camp. Let's see, is the climbing tower going to be open? Absolutely. We are planning to have the climbing tower running as well as a COPE program. The scale of COPE is definitely going to depend on what COVID allows for us to do. If it's a basically normal summer, then we'll have a full COPE program, which encourages scouts from your troops to go through the whole development of the program, starting from initiative games and team building activities through the low COPE elements and into the high course and the vertical playground and things like that. If we do have a more restrictive season, then your troop is more likely to focus on the low COPE activities and team building with some time spent on activities like just the vertical playground or the flying squirrel that we have, rather than the full high ropes course. But the definite plan for that is still evolving. And again, we'll will largely depend on what COVID's going to allow us to do. But either way, we're definitely planning on being able to staff and operate the climbing tower. All right. I think I've hit all the questions that are coming up there so far. I'm definitely on board to continue to answer your questions, so please feel free. But if you're feeling good and feeling excited for camp at Fire Mountain in summer of 2022, thank you so much for coming. If you have any further communications or questions after this is over, we'll have the recording available up online in the next couple of days, as well as a second link to our leader's guide. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, eric.buher@scouting.org, or to our program director, Jolynn at firemtn.org. Matt is wondering what were the important dates again. Oh yes, thank you everybody for coming tonight, and I hope you have a great evening, a great winter, and we hope to see you at Fire Mountain.
Yeah, what were the dates again? I know the 15th